The other side of the 60s. The 60s weren't just about the biggest names on the posters. Behind the Beatles and the Stones was a whole world of folk rock experimenters, psychedelic weirdos, garage punks,
Way too soon.
and sunshine pop hit machines. Some of them scored massive singles. Some influenced entire genres. But over time, their names faded while their songs lived on in movie soundtracks, playlists, and classic rock radio. So let's dust off the vinyl and spin 15 underrated 60s bands you may have almost forgotten. 15. The Box Tops. Teen soul from Memphis. The Box Tops, straight out of Memphis. When 16-year-old Alex Chilton stepped up to the mic to sing The Letter, nobody expected it to become a global hit. But it went all the way to number 1 in 1967 and became a blue-eyed soul classic. Backed by a tight studio-driven band and producer Dan Penn, they followed up with Cry Like a Baby and Soul Deep, cementing their place as one of the great late 60s singles groups. Creative differences and Chilton's desire to move into more experimental territory led to their breakup around 1970. He went on to cult favorite status with Big Star, but the Box Tops remain the sound of 60s Memphis pop soul at its best. 14. The Rascals, aka the Young Rascals. Blue-eyed soul with a conscience. If good lovin' or groovin' doesn't get you moving, check your pulse. The Young Rascals, later just the Rascals,
People we could meet just moving.
blended blue-eyed soul, rock, and R&B into a string of hits. They delivered good lovin', raw, joyful energy, groovin',
We're together. There ain't a place I like to be.
laid-back perfection that hit number 1. People Got to Be Free, a socially conscious anthem inspired by the turmoil of the late 60s. Internal conflicts and shifting trends hit them hard, and by the early 70s, they'd broken up. But their best tracks are still some of the grooviest soul rock of the decade. 13. Tommy James and the Shondells. From bubblegum to psychedelia. If the 60s had a jukebox, Tommy James and the Shondells would be all over it. They started with garage-ish bubblegum like Hanky Panky, then moved into psych pop with Money Money and the dreamy, echo-drenched Crimson and Clover. They were hit machines, constantly evolving their sound while still owning the pop charts. By the early 70s, Tommy James went solo after health issues and label drama. And the Shondells' name faded. But whether you're at a wedding, bar, or random karaoke night, chances are someone will eventually yell for Money Money. 12. The Association. Harmony over hype.
On his lips as they bend.
In the mid-60s, the Association were kings of sophisticated pop harmonies. Based in Los Angeles, they racked up hits like Cherish, Windy, and Never My Love. The last of which went to number 2 on Billboard and was later named one of the most played songs of the 20th century in the U.S. Their sound, orchestral arrangements, clean production, and stacked vocals. Almost the opposite of the gritty rock that started dominating the late 60s. As the culture shifted toward heavy riffs and rebellion, their gentle, romantic style felt out of step, but those harmonies, still absolutely elite. 11. The Circle. With a little help from the Beatles' camp herd Red Rubber Ball, then you've met The Circle. This American band had an easygoing, sunshine pop sound and two big hits.
Starfish in the sea, if I never hear your name.
Red Rubber Ball and De Censorship, To Turn Down Day.
Life to live, and I don't need you at all.
Here's the cool part. They were managed by Brian Epstein, the same man who managed the Beatles, and John Lennon himself helped give them their uniquely spelled name.
Now the morning sun is shining like a red rubber ball.
Abbey Road on the River, May 21-25, 2026. The Circle. Despite the Beatles connection, they never got past those couple of hits.
It's over now, the morning sun is shining like a red.
By 1968, with rock turning heavier and more experimental, The Circle called it a day, leaving behind songs that still sound like pure summer. 10. Blues Magoos, the band with the light-up suits. Take a rough garage band, add early psychedelia and glowing stage outfits, and you get Blues Magoos. This Bronx group scored a big hit with We Ain't Got Nothing Yet.
I believe that. But really, kids, I enjoy your music so much, and I think it's
A swirling, organ-driven track that reached number 5 in early
I
1967.
was here watching our rehearsal, you see, and I had an argument with them.
On stage, they wore electric blue suits with flashing lights, leaning hard into the new psychedelic aesthetic. You literally couldn't miss them on TV. Powerpop.blog. They chased heavier psychedelia on later records, but the momentum faded, and by the early 70s, the band was essentially done.
Thank you very much.
Still, that one song remains a garage psych staple. 9. Shadows of Night, Chicago's answer to the British invasion. You definitely know Gloria, but chances are the version you've heard most in the US is by Shadows of Night, not the original band Them. These Chicago kids took the British blues rock sound and brought it full circle, adding a raw Midwestern garage edge. Their cover of Gloria hit number 10 on the Billboard chart in 1966, and follow-ups like Oh Yeah kept the fuzz going. As rock got more experimental and psychedelic, straight-up garage rock started to feel old-fashioned, and Shadows of Night faded from the charts. But their influence on garage and proto-punk is undeniable. 8. The Standells, LA band, Boston's anthem. If you've ever watched a Boston Red Sox game, you've probably heard Dirty Water. Here's the twist. The Standells weren't from Boston at all. They were a Los Angeles band. Their producer Ed Cobb wrote the song as a tongue-in-cheek tribute to Boston's grimy rivers and nightlife. With tracks like Sometimes Good Guys Don't Wear White and Why Pick on Me, the Standells helped define gritty garage rock and a proto-punk attitude that pushed back against polished pop. They never quite broke out beyond that signature hit, but Dirty Water lives on as a sports anthem and a reminder of just how raw and cool mid-60s garage bands could be. 7. The Electric Prunes, Sonic Experiments, and Holy Psychedelia. The Electric Prunes didn't just play songs. They made sonic experiments. Their breakout hit, I Had Too Much to Dream, Last Night, is a fuzz-soaked, echo-laden psych classic that feels like waking up from a strange trip. They became known for wild studio tricks, guitar effects, and pushing the boundaries of what rock could sound like. Then their label pushed them into stranger territory, including the deeply odd religious concept album Mass in F minor, blending psychedelic rock with Latin liturgy. It confused fans, the lineup splintered, and by 1970 the original band was basically done. But their influence on psychedelic and garage rock has only grown over time. Once I thought I found her. 6. Spanky and Our Gang, Sunshine with a Bittersweet Edge.
Can't promise, no, I can't promise that I'll love you.
While other bands were shouting rebellion, Spanky and Our Gang leaned into breezy harmonies and wistful melodies.
Yes, I'd like to get to know you.
Fronted by Elaine Spanky McFarlane, they delivered soft pop classics like Sunday Will Never Be the Same and Lazy Day. Songs that sounded like the soundtrack to a perfect afternoon. Behind the lightness, though, was real tragedy. Band member Malcolm Hale died in 1968, and the group unraveled soon after, just as folk pop was being pushed aside by heavier rock. Their run was short, but if you want to feel like you've stepped into a sun-drenched 60s day, their catalog is a time capsule. 5. Strawberry Alarm Clock, Psychedelia in one song. Even if the band name doesn't instantly click, the song Incense and Peppermints usually does. Released in 1967, this Los Angeles psychedelic band scored a #1 hit with that swirling, organ-driven Technicolor anthem.
Who cares what games we choose? Little to win.
American songwriter. Their sound was the perfect snapshot of the summer of love. Hazy harmonies, sunny vibes, and trippy lyrics. But like a lot of psych bands, they struggled to adapt once that wave crashed. Constant lineup changes and record label interference didn't help. For one glorious moment, though, Strawberry Alarm Clock were the poster children of peace, love, and tie-dye. 4. The Turtles. Goofy, brilliant, and totally catchy. You might not know their name right away, but you definitely know Happy Together. That soaring chorus, the harmonies, the orchestration. It's one of the most perfect pop songs of the 1960s. The Turtles started as a folk rock band out of Los Angeles, then shifted into bright, polished pop with hits like Eleanor and You Showed Me.
Everybody says be strong, but I just can't take.
Apple Music. Web player. Their secret weapon was their sense of humor. They didn't take themselves too seriously, which made them fun. But also made some people write them off as lightweight in an era obsessed with serious rock. By the early 70s, they broke up. and members Howard Kaylan and Mark Volman reinvented themselves as the comedic rock duo Flo and Eddie, working with Frank Zappa and more. The band name faded, but those harmonies, timeless. 3. The Lovin Spoonful, Bottled Sunshine and Sidewalk Grit. If any band could bottle joy, it was the Lovin Spoonful. Formed in New York City in 1965, they were early folk rock pioneers, blending jug band, folk, and pop long before it became trendy. SanDiegoTroubadour.com. Do You Believe in Magic? Pure upbeat, jangly bliss, daydream, lazy, feel good perfection. YouTube Summer in the City. A darker, tougher look at city life that still hit #1 in the US. But internal tensions, lineup changes, and legal trouble ended their run by the end of the decade. Still, for a few golden years, the Lovin Spoonful made believing in magic feel easy. 2. The Grassroots, kings of AM radio pop.
To have you now, please, 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 please.
If you've ever turned on an oldie station and heard Let's Live for Today or Midnight Confessions, you've probably run into the Grassroots.
Chasing after money and dreams that can't come true. I'm glad that we...
Even if you didn't know their name, Apple Music, web player. They started as a studio project dreamed up by producers and songwriters P.F. Sloan and Steve Barry.
And don't worry.
Then evolved into a real touring band and one of the most successful singles acts in late 60s America.
For today, we're never meant to worry the way that people...
Their sound? A polished blend of folk, rock, and lush harmonies. The exact vibe of cruising with the windows down on a summer afternoon.
From living, have pleasure while we can. 2, 3, 4.
As the 70s moved toward heavier, album-oriented rock, that slick AM radio pop began to feel old school. But their catalog is stacked, and the songs still sound ridiculously fresh. 1. Paul Revere and the Raiders. Word Teen. The Colonial Costume Rockers. If showmanship were an Olympic sport, Paul Revere and the Raiders would have taken gold. Based out of the Pacific Northwest and closely tied to the Portland scene, they became famous on TV in the mid-60s with their Revolutionary War outfits, non-stop energy, and tight garage rock sound. Their 1966 hit Kicks was written by hitmakers Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil. And here's the twist. It wasn't a drug song. It was an anti-drug song warning a friend about addiction. Other burners like Hungry and Good Thing proved these guys weren't just a gimmick act. They were legit rockers with serious hooks. So what happened? As the 70s rolled in, the costumes started to feel a little campy, and musical tastes shifted. But if you want a band that mixes theatrical flair with hard-hitting garage rock, Paul Revere and the Raiders are criminally underrated. Which band would you bring back? So there you go. 15 bands from the 1960s that didn't all become household names, but absolutely shouldn't be forgotten. Some were studio creations. Some were garage punks in glowing suits. Some were harmony masters who got swept aside when rock got heavier. Now it's your turn. Which of these bands do you wish were still around today? And which song are you adding to your playlist right now? Drop your picks in the comments. If you enjoyed this trip through the deep cuts of the 60s, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell. There are a lot more forgotten bands and controversial tracks to dig into. See you in the next one.